Hey everyone, I'm here to talk about 4.md.4, which is making line plots. And line plots are basically a chart that represents data that has been collected from like asking people a question and showing all of their answers in one place. So for example, this is the scenario. The students in Miss Johnson's class measured their heights to the nearest quarter foot. They organized the data using a tally chart. Use the tally chart to create a line plot. So the first thing they did is they went around and asked the kids how tall they were. So here were the choices for heights, and these are the number of kids that said that yes, they were that tall. So for 4 feet tall, they put tally marks, and I just went ahead and wrote the number next to it so that it's clear to understand. Once you have a tally chart like this, then you create a line plot. And this is basically what a line plot is. And what you do is represent the data that you collected here, down here on your chart. So all you have to do is you see that the title of the chart is heights of student in feet. I'm going to go up. I see I had 4 answers for 4 feet tall. So all I do is make 4 X's to show those answers. For 4.25 feet, I had 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. For 4.5 feet, I had 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for 4.75, I had 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's all a line plot is. What happens is once that these are created, sometimes they will have them created for you and sometimes you will create them, and then they're going to ask you questions about them. So this one happens to be a fractional line plot, which is where we're headed because they're going to want to ask you questions about adding and subtracting and multiplying fractions, which you already know. And sometimes, like on this one, the line plot has whole numbers. So this is kind of how you start off with the whole numbers and you work your way up to mixed numbers. You'll go from whole numbers to fractions to mixed numbers, and that's how it increases in difficulty. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to put the numbers on a line plot. So up here it says the students in Miss Kyle's class lost some teeth this year. Plot the data. So every time I see a number, I need to put an X on the tally chart to represent it. So here's 1, so I'm going to put an X over here for the 1. I'm going to cross it off so that I know I've used it. 0, put an X, cross it off. 4, put an X, cross it off. 3, put an X, cross it off. 2, oops, X, cross it off. 5, an X, cross it off. 0, X, cross it off. 3, X, cross it off. 3, X, cross it off. 3, X, cross it off. 5, X, cross it off. 2, cross it off. 4 and 3. Okay, once I get my line plot made, first of all, make sure when you're making your line plot that your X's are about the same size and that you do them in a straight row going up. I like to then count them and then just go ahead and write the number. It just helps answering questions. So for 0, I had 2 people. 1, I had 1. 2, I had 2. 3, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. 4, I had 1, 2. 5, I had 1, 2. Okay, that's kind of how I like to prepare my line plot for asking questions. And these are some of the types of questions that they're going to ask you. What is the most common number of teeth? So you have to look, when it says most common, it will be the ones that have been answered the most. So that answer is 3. What is the difference between the most number of teeth lost and the least? So the most number was 3 and the least number of teeth lost was 1. So then that would be 3 minus 1 because it said the difference between them. So that would be 2. How many people lost 2 teeth? So you just count and you see that it was 2. Did more people lose 4 teeth or 5 teeth? And then you would say it was equal. How many people lost less than 3 teeth? So for questions that say less than 3, you can't pick 3 to start counting. It has to be less than. So you're going to count all the columns that are less than 3. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the trickiest thing about line plots is just the way they word the questions and making sure that you understand what you're answering. So you just need to be real careful about how you do that. So that is line plots. I hope you feel good about it. If not, just let me know. Thanks.